Episode 380. Upon returning to the game, when the sword was drawn from the handle of the Myriad Manifestations umbrella, the umbrella was already displayed in its sword form. The reforged Crimson Shadow's fury had been utterly transformed. Only its blood-red blade remained unchanged. Myriad Manifestations, umbrella, sword form, level 35. Weight, 2.3 kilograms. Durability, 23. Attack speed, 5. Physical attack, 390. Magic attack, 440. Plus a 2% increase to critical hit chance. This was an inherent property of the Crimson Shadow Mad Blade, one it retained even after being reforged into this new form. The Myriad Manifestations umbrella's sword form had finally gained an additional property. With this form now complete, any further upgrades for Yeshu would have to wait for the players of the 10th server to farm the Blazing Forest dungeon for a few more days. He'd have to wait until everyone had gotten their share before he could sell the strategy guide or find some other way to make money. In short, trying to farm a dungeon on your own to trade for it is absolutely impossible. Lord Grimm left the city of Kongji and began heading in the direction of Sin City. Yeshu sent a message to Tang Ru, asking if she wanted to team up and run the dungeon. With Yukshu's skill level, he could easily solo a 5-player dungeon at level 70, let alone these 37 to 39 ones. But you'll never run into a hidden boss if you're going solo. With that in mind, Yeshu didn't mind having some company. Tang Ru was following a guide to complete some quests. Soft Mist had just jumped from level 31 to 38. Among the quests for those 7 levels, there were naturally some mandatory ones that awarded attribute points or skill books. Tang Ru was methodically clearing tasks according to her guide, but at Yeshu's call, she immediately dropped everything and rushed to Sin City to meet up with him. The two met in Sin City, and the party was formed.
Just the two of us?
Tang Ru glanced around, but didn't see anyone else.
Who else would it be?
Yushu felt a bit helpless. Aside from Suma Cheng, none of his other friends were high enough level for Sin City.
Then let's go.
Tang Ru was saying that her question about it being just the two of them wasn't a doubt about how they'd handle the dungeon. It was simply that with just 2 people, they could head out right away. That was all. The dungeon for Sin City is located in an underground prison within the city itself. Anyone locked up in a place called Sin City must be utterly vicious. And this prison had no rules to speak of. The inmates were free to roam as they pleased. Of course, if you dive into the quest lore, there's a perfectly reasonable story explanation for it all. It's just a prison riot where the inmates killed the guards. So now, it's up to the mighty players to team up and go in to crush the most desperate of these desperados. Yeshu had seen the story 10 years ago, and Tang Ru got dizzy just looking at a wall of text. Why would either of them bother reading it now? The two of them reached the dungeon entrance and swiftly entered. Their purpose here was singular: to kill to their heart's content. The underground prison was dark and damp. The moment the two characters stepped inside, their feet splashed into a small puddle. The water sprayed up, and the crisp sound echoed through the caverns. Just ahead, several mobs heard the noise, whirled around, and charged straight for them. The dungeon in Sin City's underground prison doesn't give players a moment to prepare. You step in, and the fight starts immediately. It seemed completely intentional, dropping players into a water pit the moment they teleported in, just to make a splash. Tang Ru loved this kind of directness. Her Soft Mist was already charging into the fray. The Crimson Moon spear in her hands became a streak of red light. In the dim environment, the color wasn't dazzling at all, instead appearing elusive and unpredictable. Without another word, Yexu had Lord Grimm lean back, then heft his spear and charge in. The two of them were more than enough to handle this dungeon. But since they weren't aiming for any speed records, they skipped the fancy tactics. Yeshu's goal for this dungeon run was to study tactics. Seeing that Tang Ru could handle these minor mobs, he ignored them and pressed on ahead. Once he reached his first target position, he immediately began his experiment. It took Tang Ru some time to finish off those few mobs. After all, she was solo, and dungeon elites are notoriously tanky. Once she'd cleared them all, she rushed over to Lord Grimm's side. To her surprise, he was killing them even slower than she had, and by a significant margin.
What are you doing?
Tang Ru found it strange. While Yishu usually didn't go all out in dungeons, he'd never slacked off like this before.
Just researching something. You keep on killing.
Tang Ru paid it no mind and charged forward. This was supposed to be a two-player run, but we're basically just fighting our own separate battles. Tang Ru pushed forward a bit more, then swung her view back around. Lord Grimm was still in the same spot, tangled up with a few mobs. In Glory, party members only share experience within a certain range. If you're too far apart, there's no reason for the experience from one person's kills. Soft Mist was about to move out of range, so Tang Ru had no choice but to turn her back.
You're still not done yet?
She asked after running back, but she didn't let Soft Mist step in to help.
You can help me test this too.
Ye Shu promptly pulled Tang Ru into his testing team. For most of the dungeon, Tang Ru cleared the mobs, while Ye Shu would stop at a certain point, often for over 10 minutes, or even longer. The current speed record for the Sin City Underground Prison Dungeon is held by Herb Garden at 35 minutes, 45 seconds, and 15 milliseconds. But Yexu and Tang Ru's two-person run took nearly 2 hours. If they were just clearing mobs, it wouldn't have taken nearly this long. The main reason for the delay was Yexu constantly stopping to study the layout. The first run ended just like that. Tang Ru didn't say a word. On the second run, Yexu didn't hold back. He dove into the monsters with even more zeal than Tang Ru. Especially at the start, in those spots where he'd been dawdling before, he charged in alone, killing with more focus and efficiency than anywhere else.
How's it going?
Tang Ru asked from the side. She had a sense that Yexu was studying something. Having been his assistant a few times and heard his explanations, she could tell his attempts had a purpose, to clear the dungeon faster.
Not bad at all.
For a record run?
Yeah, but we don't need it.
Then what's it for?
Sell it as a guidebook to the major guilds.
Are you so sure they can't figure it out on their own, and absolutely need you?
That's hard to say for sure.